Alright, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Jeannie, and you already know what it is. So let's just get into the energy. Alright, I'm very grateful and thankful for everybody who supports my channel, donates to me, book readings with me, like, comment, subscribe, or simply just give me a view. I really do appreciate you. Let's get into the energy, Virgo, because this pre-shuffle gave me the energy of like the perks of service. Okay. With this crown and manifesting and drive and teamwork, Virgo, I'm talking to some people who give God the authority, right? You give God the authority, you listen to your ancestors and guides, and they are able to manifest through you. Okay. So I'm talking to some people who are living vessels, living as a living vessel, a living sacrifice for God, so that his will be done. All right. And that is a servant, teamwork. This is what I got from the pre shuffle. So if that's not really your thing, go ahead and click out of this. I'm talking to the people who are of service. Okay. We know Virgo is the sign of service, but I'm talking about the people who are literally of service to God. Okay. People get it confused. They want to call us beneath them. They want to say that we're supposed to serve them, but ultimately we're supposed to serve God's will and allow God's will to be done through our actions. Okay, and that calls for a level of control. Okay, because the perks of service, we all know that people who are helpers, people who are service, needs to have control. Okay, they need to be able to control themselves. They need to be able to produce uh, a peaceful life. They need to be able to give nourishment. That's acts of service. You need control and you need to be able to nurture in order to actually level up, right? So I'm talking to some Virgos who are in service to God. And to be in service, there's things that you can't do no more, okay? In order to continue to be of service to God. This is like you have to upkeep your temple in order to continue to serving God. So you have to keep changing yourself, keep fixing the light bulbs, keep adding additions, adding rooms, okay? Changing and taking away things in order to create a temple worthy of serving, right? I'm talking about you, your body, your mind. It's just metaphorical, Virgo. And I'm talking to some people who have been of service to God in a way that you're about to level up because you have let go of things that were that was causing conflict and God's will being fulfilled. But this is all a memory. Now you're focused on the future. Okay. And I'm talking to some people that your level up is going to be where you're placed somewhere where your services are required. Okay. So we're going back to you being a servant. And because you are a servant, you are crowned in heaven, right? Because you can come against things like temptation, like darkness, and you can be there to cut it out, not comply with it. This is what it means to be of service. You're placed in the world to do God's will, to expose secrets, to cut out corruption, to stop harm, to nourish and set boundaries. This is what you're meant to do. You're placed in areas to do God's work. And when you do God's work, He gives you a level of authority, power, success, material gain. And it's only because you can withstand the wiles of the enemy and get the job done, prune the tree, get more fruit. Okay? One does not simply do what you do. One does not simply be a servant to God. Most people get caught in a barrel, drowning in debt, drowning in sin and illness, Virgo, having their spiritual house being robbed because they don't get the parables or the lessons. But you do. You understand life and death, and you're willing to adapt and change. And because of that, you're able to get stuck people on the walk with God by intertwining your destinies. Hear me out. This is the next part of it. So, because you are a service to God, God will place you to be service to other people. You don't know this, but you're going to be placed in an environment where your expertise is required, where your characteristics is needed. What you're good at is what they're looking for. You're about to be placed somewhere where you can do God's will and unstuck stuck people. Teach them how to repent for their sins. Teach them how to really live in a life, live life like we're supposed to. Okay? Your real spiritual divine path, which is to learn the lessons God is trying to teach you and elevate the universe. And you're going to teach people the practical way of doing it because you've already went on your walk with God, and a part of your walk with God is to put those words into actions, and you're about to be placed somewhere and tested. You're going to notice every single problem is tailor-made for your experience. Woo, this is happening in the present moment, y'all. This is happening in the present moment. You're going to become a present to people, Virgo, because you're going to be planted in their environment. Okay, so Virgo, you're going to be placed somewhere that is tailor made for your expertise. So you can be a living present to people in the present moment. What does that mean? You are a service to God. So God's going to put you somewhere to answer people's prayers. Woo! You're going to show up as an answered prayer. You're going to show up as God's gift to people because you are placed there to do what you have already been doing. And people are going to spot you, okay? They're going to spot you and they know that you will not be disobedient to God, all right? And they can either change their tune or they can try to rob you of your job. And then they'll pray that they did their spiritual work. Okay, Virgo, so as a servant to God, you're here, you're being placed in places where you can make a change, right? Because you are this person who is who isn't a pillar of salt, who does not disobey, okay? You change, you're able to change other people. But there are somebody or some people who like to kill, rob, destroy, whatever this is. And wow, you're an answered prayer to people who need to do their shadow work. But it comes unexpectedly in the form of a servant. That's crazy. Okay? There are robbers, cheaters, and killers and bad people who pray to be better. And then you're placed in the environment to show them how to make their flowers bloom. But some of these people attack you just for doing your job. Okay? So if you find yourself being attacked, if you find yourself placed in an environment where your expertise can't help people, where you cannot elevate, where you can't make things better, where you can't thrive, this is your signal that you need to move. Okay? And let the ancestors battle it. Let the spirit battle it. Yeah. Because you're there to expose an ancient gate. You're there to break something. But there are people with scarcity mindsets, yeah, that don't want help. And this is being prearranged. Rumor has it, Virgo, it is prearranged for you to be placed into places to expose secrets, to take down corruption, to overthrow the devil's foothold. This is prearranged for you to meet ancient gates and break them. For you to be a servant to God and be that person who lifts gates off of people. But there are some people who do not want help because they got a scarcity mindset. And you are also arranged to be put there. And it's not a rumor. You're there to expose them and then burn that bridge and disappear. They're only there for a season. Now we're learning here. Virgo, you're only meant to fix people for a season, but when people refuse to not be fixed, to not win, you have to put mind over matter and let God smack their ass. Okay? This is the energy. Y'all are about to be placed somewhere where your service is required. And you're going to know it's required because it's going to flow like water. Okay? You're going to be promoted. People are going to start tipping you, because the perks of service, when you get good help, Virgo, you want to reward that good help. You want to pay it what it deserves. You want to tip it. Instead of being a help, it becomes family. And there's perks that come with being of service to people that you're about to learn. But you just came out of the season of the opposite. You came out of the season of somebody who did not want you to do your job. They did not want to change. They wanted to keep it evil and demonic and low vibrational. So you were led to leave it. Do not feel bad about leaving these people behind and letting them get the karma that they deserve. Because if they're not going to listen to the prophet when the prophet is there speaking, it is not your fault, Virgo. You went and you spoke. So whoever does not entertain what you are trying to stimulate will be annihilated. And that's just that. Because you were there to talk them into annihilation of evil. And since they wanted to live in evil, you're going to let that evil annihilate them and move on to a place, 1111, move on to a place where you can be of service. This may be your blood family who are still trying to con you, who are going to be eliminated by the Most High, because you have an important role to be of service to God. And there's people who hate you because you were there to expose that they didn't have the power and authority that you do. And the power and authority that you have only comes with God's correction, walking with God, learning and changing, accountability, growth, ascension, shadow work, things that these people were unable to do. So you controlled yourself. You did what you were needed to do, and now you're about to level up. You're about to be placed somewhere in which your services are needed, where you can actually bring forth prosperity and not just conflict. You're about to be placed somewhere where people will appreciate you, okay? Need what you are giving and recognize when you give it. This is unexpected. What's this energy for Virgo, please? There it is. Drowning in debt and road opener. Somebody's got some karma to pay. Ooh, Jesus walks with me and reign on me as above, so below. Holy shit, Virgo. Stop. Y'all, there's some type of spiritual and financial debt you're paying off by walking with God and being a service to God. And you're about to be paid for it. Whew. As above, so below shit. Oh my gosh. Virgo, congratulations. You paid off some type of debt by dealing with the spiritual warfare that comes with trying to heal unhealable people. It was never your job to heal them. It was just your job to disrupt the environment so that God can show them. You were being used as a puppet to do so. And because you went through it, went through the attacks, went through the slander, went through the fights, went through the people coming against you, and you still walked with God, even when the devil was trying to break you down. Some of you went through extreme spiritual warfare just by doing what God told you to do. And because you did, Virgo, there's about to be a level of material gain that you are unexpecting. He's about to walk you right into money. May 25th could be significant. This could be coming up, okay? This could be coming. This is real time. You paid off some type of debt by staying with God through the devil trying to break you down. And now it's time to celebrate. Now it's time to the song of the day. Now it's time to open the blinds, Virgo. This song says, open the blinds, let the sun shine in. Okay? It says, lost my mind a couple times, but I found it. Cut off my old thing is bad timing. Cut off some old ways to start grinding. My phone on D&D and the sun is shining. Y'all, stop playing with me. 1515. You may have lost your mind a couple times dealing with this spiritual warfare, but you found it. You had to cut that old thing off, okay? Because it was bad timing. You had to get rid of your old ways and start grinding. Did I not just say that? You had to change your characteristics to walk with God. You have to repent. You have to build a relationship, get intimate with Him, change your mind, change your viewpoint, change how you move. So when temptation comes against you, you know how to curb it. You don't even want it. You can show up in rooms and not be tempted to continue the corruption, but be tempted to destroy it. Because you know all evil is evil, no matter how small. And because you were able to do this, Virgo, you cut off characteristics inside of you that would rob people, that would hurt people. And you started grinding. And you're about to be placed somewhere where God can give you what you are owed. Oof. So you're being asked to open the blinds, okay? It says, I know it's been wild outside and you've been trying. Pray, open all your eyes and get some silence. Pray that you can dry your eyes if you've been, yeah. Pray that you can wait your turn. Wait when your timing. Woo! Virgo, you don't even know that this is the time. Oh my gosh. You don't even know that you've been waiting for this time. It's unexpected rain. Some of y'all just need to wait on God's timing for real. You don't even know that He's dragging something out to really clean out the rest of the financial, spiritual karma that you may have accumulated. Look, sudden changes. It's like being let go of from jail. 1717. It's like being released from, it's like being released from prison. Like, this is the type of energy that I'm getting. It's like being released from spiritual warfare. Okay, it's like your enemy is no longer beating you down. It's this type of energy. You don't even know. It is coming up financially, Virgo. It's a whole lot of money. Okay, perks of service. They're giving me, when you show up in the right place. There's another thing to this, y'all. You have to show up and walk with God for money to rain down on you. This doesn't just happen because of the shit that you did in your past. They need you to go to the environment that they're placing you in and act like you walk with God. This is a continual thing. So your blessings and this unexpected money also depends on your caliber of work, how you allow God to use you, what you do in that scenario. You have to show up and walk with God. Okay, that is a very important factor to this unexpected blessing, because when people see you being of service, they start talking about you. When they see you doing a good job, they leave good reviews. When people see, whew, yeah, when people see that your services are needed, they pay you for your service. Slowly but surely getting ahead. Wait on God's timing, Virgo. They need you to go in this room, the next place that they put you, and express affection. Express the fruits of the Spirit: patientness, lovingness, tenderness, peacefulness, Virgo. This is, y'all, they need you to express. All you have to do is be yourself, and it's going to lead to more prosperity and abundance, because you came out of a season where you were just yourself and it led to destruction. And instead of changing yourself, you still walked with God. So now you're being rewarded to be placed in an area in which you walking with God will get you rewarded. And that's just on that. You're going to start expressing the fruits of the Spirit, and people are going to start feeling the love. Their fruit is just going to start blooming from your presence. Happiness is going to come back to an area, an environment, because you are there. And people are going to associate you with good luck energy. Tell them it's all God. Stay humble. Stay humble. Tell them it's all God. When these blessings start hitting you, thank the Lord God Almighty. You feel me? But also stay humble. Tell them who your father is. Tell them who walks with you, Virgo. Really shout them out. Because the more people see God on you, the more abundance will follow you. Y'all are not expecting this, but this is what God has been slowly breathing you towards. Slowly but surely getting more lucky in an unhealthy environment. We are placed in a world that is attacking us, that is against us. People hate people who are servant to God because it brings about a level of change. And when you stay steadfast in your work with God, He can slowly but surely change things from good that was oppressive. And this is that wholeness and completion that comes with you just speaking the same thing that you did in the past. But this time, people are going to understand. They're going to see the discipline and they're going to know a battle is unfolding and they're going to control themselves. But there are negative people who see you getting the spotlight and they just know that karma's coming. Because we're going back to those past people, Virgo. There are people who pray to God for success. So people like you are sitting there to test them, to show them that they cannot handle what they are praying for. And when they see you rise, Virgo, they're going to know for sure that you were sent as a blessing, as a gift, and they mishandled you. And mishandling people of service will get you a whole lot of trouble. And I feel like there's somebody who's out here that's going to really understand this. Okay? But it's not up to you. Yeah. It's not up to you to keep talking to them. If they don't listen to the prophet while the prophet is speaking, they'll miss out on the legacy. Because you're here to tempt people into change, not force change upon them. 222. You're here to provoke change, not force it upon people. And sometimes that makes enemies. And these enemies are not your enemies, they are an enemy of God. So let them fight with God and play their hand with God, and you stay steadfast and keep on giving gifts, Virgo, of just showing up. You are the gift, and gifts are going to be given unto you. And this is that season. But it comes with you walking in the room and you handling every single problem that you encounter with all the wisdom that you have gained from the previous times. Okay? With all the wisdom that you've learned from walking with God. Because when you show up in these areas and you start expressing these fruit, when you start showing off your fruit, when you start really living in your femininity, man or woman, and expression affection towards God, the universe, things become more abundant. And it draws in a level of prosperity that you are not ready for. Closing message. We get the Three of Pentacles. It came out crossing. There will be some people who don't want to work with you. Page of Cups and the Eight of Cups. And they will refuse your services. Or there's some people that you cannot work with, Virgo. Know who you can't. Yeah, don't be confused of somebody who is trying to control you, right? There are people here that you're going to be sent towards to give your services to, and they're going to refuse your services. Okay, or you need to refuse serving people who do not comply. You only serve people who you can bring a benefit to, right? You only serve people who see your service in its value, right? You only give your energy where it is reciprocated. And when you give and it is not reciprocated, Spirit wants you to pack up your bags and leave. This is what you're sent here to do. If you go into a place and you see that your services are not required, meaning they cannot grow from this, they can't learn from this, and they're going to cause chaos for you, you are being told to leave. It'll hit them when you're gone. When they lose good help, they'll know that they lost good help. They won't be confused, right? But you need to not be confused in trying to help stubborn people. If they cannot reciprocate a level of learning, knowledge, and progression, Your services are not needed. The King of Swords, the Ace of Cups, the Knight of Wands. Use your discernment and only go towards places that you can pour into, Virgo. Do not be confused because there is nothing wrong with you. If you start pouring into something and it does not lead towards progression, don't be confused about your expertise, your qualities, or your characteristics. It's these people who do not want to progress. You are nurturing, capable, organized to do a whole lot of things, and you have learned that in the past. And since you know you're a blessing, if people do not see that, okay, move accordingly. But if they do and they see what you're trying to do and they change their judgment and they follow you and they transform, Virgo, and they weigh out the scales of injustice, Queen of Swords and the Star card, you are like a blessing to their home. You'll be sent there to fix their problems and you will become fruitful. Okay, with the Devil, the Three of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, and the Three of Cups. There are people who you were sent to nurture in the past, and you were waiting for expansion, and all you got was loss. So this has taught you to only add areas and be in partnerships where you can what? Where you can heal, where you can fix things, where you can add a level of progression. All right? People who want to be your friends but do not progress are only worried about the exposure that comes with being around you. And that's when you need to stand up in your power, take control, and manifest your own happiness and abundance in other people's lives who are willing and open for your knowledge. Okay, don't get caught in places feeling bad for people because you want them to understand the message. If they don't understand it, go towards somebody else who does because your services are required. You got to keep it moving. Okay, don't get caught up on temporary people who are only there for a season of learning because you have so much more in store. Okay, you're going to be placed in a room where your productivity makes other people flee or change how they move. The Lovers, and they can either partner with you or be against you. Five of Wands and the six of Coins. Okay, it's like they can either partner with you or be against you, but they are fighting against their own gifts. They just don't know it because you're being sent to people as gifts. We have the Nine of Pentacles to the Emperor. You're going to be promoted. Ooh, Knight of Swords. You're going to be placed somewhere in which your expertise can solve problems, and you're going to be paid for this. With the Six of Coins and the Nine of Pentacles to the Emperor, to the Magician, this is going to lead towards a steady progression of promotion in which will tell you that you're in the right area. Y'all think I'm kidding. Y'all think I'm kidding. God made you go through an experience in which your expertise couldn't level up the unit, and it was because those people were unwilling to change. But He is about to put you somewhere where your expertise and your requirements are needed with people who are willing to elevate, who are willing to learn, who are willing to prosper. And it's like you're going to come as a blessing to magnify these people. And as you uphold and uplift their life, you're going to be given gifts that uphold and uplift your life. It's going to be reciprocal. This is your manifestation playing out in real life. The manifestation is living as a vessel. We're going back to the beginning when you are a living sacrifice for God and you show up in every single environment and do His will. You are manifesting prosperity for yourself because God takes care of His servants. He knows His servant. He blesses His servants. And the things that you want to manifest, start manifesting because you're doing what God told you to do. And you're going to be placed in an area where it's easy for you. And this is how you know you're meant to manifest in this area for a period of time until your expertise are no longer needed. And that's when you're put into a next level. Okay, and it may be a bad one. And when you see that it's a bad one, use all of your wisdom to move as soon as possible into a good scenario. And you just keep it pushing. And as you traverse this earth, doing God's will, living as his vessel, manifesting what you want by doing what God wants, you're gonna get blessed. I'm gonna leave it there. 10 of Cups. Blessings on blessings on blessings. You're going to be repaid for a service in a way which you aren't expecting with the Moon card. This is the energy of you being given tips. This is what they're showing me. You're just there to do your job, but because you did your job, somebody wants to help you. So they illuminate some type of wisdom that they have that empowers you. Page of Wands. Now you get blessings from people who are also doing God's work by giving you. Stop playing with me. Now you're getting blessings from people that you were brought in to do God's work with. They recognize the God in you and they start giving you blessings. They start telling you tips. They start uncovering things for you that helps you step in your power, because when you have a good servant, you want your servant to stay there and give you service. So they give you perks so that you stay. And you're about to be rewarded in little ways and little things that are little mini blessings for you being who God designed you to do, because you're also answering the prayers of people who was counting on God to solve their problems. And you're here to protect that, protect the light wherever you go. Woo! And when you start protecting the light wherever you go, you meet like-minded people who also do not want to suffer, who also want to protect what's theirs. And it's going to teach you about where you're needed and where you're not needed, where to give and where to walk away. 4 of Wands. You're going to notice a level of ease, peace and ease in your life. And when you start feeling that peace and ease, Virgo, I'm going to need you to open up your blinds. I'm going to need you to start praying for more prosperity. Sweep out your house. Let that energy marinate. Do what you got to do to pamper yourself, because when you're in service to other people, you cannot forget about serving yourself, because you need that energy to give to other people. And just like God wants you to be there for people and help them, God also wants to help you. So use whatever blessings that you get to multiply the energy so that you have enough to give, so that you have enough to pour, so that you can continue to be a vessel. And the thing about being a vessel in a temple is that God can't put wine into old skin. So you're going to have to need to evolve. You're going to need to upgrade. You're going to need to keep pushing. You're going to keep moving. And that all comes down to being willing and able to do so. And when you take care of yourself and your family and enact the will, God will take care of you. And I pray every single one of you will come to the fullness of the understanding of what I have said in this video. If you have, please give me a like, comment down below. Subscribe to the channel, see what's coming up next to Virgos. And you already know I'm very grateful and thankful for everybody watching. Peace.